In this new video, and let's start it. See guys, I found this article in today's The Hindu newspaper and I found it very interesting to share with you. It said that the political trilemma and the crisis in the West. Actually, it's not about the West that this trilemma is all about. It's also about in India, we see, okay, it's also in the China case, it's also in the European Union case, it's also in USA case, okay. So we will understand what's this political trilemma, okay, and how it is connected with the economic integration with the world and development, economic prosperity, market access, okay, and the prosperity of a particular country, okay. See guys, dilemma means when we have to choose between the two things and we have two options, so both options is very hard to choose, okay, so that case is called dilemma. When we have three options in the front of us, that is called trilemma, okay, and this kind of case is in the front of world right now as I'm talking about, okay. See, Danny Roderick, okay, he was an economist, and 2 decades ago, around 2000, okay, he published a paper. In published, he discussed that how far the world economy integration will go, okay, and how far a particular country's economy will go, okay. He published with the name of this paper, okay. So in that paper he discussed it, okay, trilemma the world is facing, okay. He discussed that this trilemma, what is this trilemma, okay, and how it will affect the world's economy, okay, and how it will impact the daily lives of the peoples, okay. See, if we talk about the trilemma which he discussed about 2 decades ago, okay, he discussed that there are 3 options. Every country has these 3 options. He said that every country has 3 options, okay, and these 3 options are, first is, you can say, mass politics, okay, mass politics, you can say popularly democracy, okay. Democracy, and you can say sovereignty, okay, sovereignty, and then you can say globalization. See guys, if we take the example of India, okay, India's sovereignty means we have our own rights on a particular things, means no one from the external field can influence our decision, our policies, okay. It's our own nation state, you can say, okay. Democracy, as you know, it's that people support, public support, okay, through which a central authority of the power is getting elected or is getting authoritized, okay, and is functioning. So globalization means giving access your market to the world, and world getting the access of world market, okay, all these things. See guys, and what this theory Danny Roderick at the time said in that research paper, he said that it's very impossible for a nation, okay. He said that it's impossible, almost, it did not say that it's definitely impossible, it said that it seems impossible, okay. It seems impossible to make a balance between all 3 elements, okay. I will simplify with the help of example. You just understand in this time the theory, what is theory saying, okay. It is saying that it's impossible, close to the impossible, to maintain all these 3 factors, a balance between that, okay. See, if we see the present crisis in the European Union is just because they want to stabilize because of these 3 factors. If we see why US is becoming so radicalized, becoming so protectionist, okay, and creating high tariff against the external countries import, okay, all the things are connected with this triangle as you are seeing in the front of your screen, okay. If we talk about India, if we talk about China, all are connected with this triangle. I will justify it. See guys, if we talk about that, I told you there are 3 elements which every nation wants to balance, but Danny Roderick theory said that it's almost near the impossible to maintain a balance between all 3 factors, okay. Let me justify it. See, if we talk about democracy, okay, if we talk about sovereignty, if we talk about globalization means giving the access, market access, okay, and so your goods may be exported outside, okay, and you will get the access to the cheaper goods and all these things, okay. See, if we talk about European Union, okay, European Union, what? It is an economic union, you can say economic and political bloc. What? Economic, okay, economic and politic, okay. You have seen that whole economic union nations, okay, all make the same decision. If it is regarding the currency, if regarding the monetary policy, if it is regarding migration, if it is regarding any kind of regulations like artificial intelligence regulation, yeah, it is carbon border adjustment mechanism, all these things, okay. So it means that European Union made ensure that all the nation will take the same decision in economic, political and social lines, okay. So it means that economic union, all the nations have given up their sovereignty to this, means that they have to accept the European Union decision, of which they are part of, okay, and they have maintained the democracy and globalization. How? European Union is a big market, okay, around I think 25% of the world GDP. Let me, if I'm not wrong, yeah, sorry guys, it's 15% of the world GDP they contribute. It means that they have big market for the world, and that a big market attraction for the world, okay. It means that every nations of EU had maintained the democracy and globalization, but they are failed to maintain their sovereignty, their own sovereignty. I'm talking about the nations who are part of this European Union, okay. So it means that whatever the Danny Roderick said, okay, that it's near the impossible to maintain the balance between all 3, okay. See, it is the example of European Union. European Union is a democratized, okay, wholly democracy is there, okay, it's a fully globalized, okay, but there is the lack of sovereignty in the particular nations, okay, like say France, Italy, and all these things. Like recently, because of this issue, the national sentiment rise in the United Kingdom. They exit from the European Union, okay, because they do not want to play with their sovereignty. So they thought that it's our own decision, so they broke it from, okay. So it's the case of European Union, okay. Let me tell you now the case of China. See, this is again the same triangle, okay. This is democracy, and this is sovereignty, and this is globalization. What the China has did, okay, what the China did, they maintain the sovereignty. They maintain the sovereignty means no one, you have to see that, you know, no external influence is there in their decision. They always take their own decision. Everything is their own, okay. No external force is infringing their decision making process, okay. If we talk about the globalization, China has become the most dominated power in this game, in this whole global market, okay. So they maintain the balance between two. But if we talk about the democracy of the mass public, okay, there is less freedom to the people, and this less freedom is come at the cost of, you know, economic prosperity and all these things. So there is one party, okay, option. So I'm telling you guys that it is almost near the impossible to maintain the balance between two, okay. If we talk about now India, okay, see, third option, if we talk about India, let's say this is India, okay, India. If we talk about democracy, if we talk about sovereignty, if we globalization, see guys, we are not that much globalized country, okay, and we see that we have put high tariff on the things to maintain our internal interest. So it means that we had maintained our democracy and sovereignty at supreme, and we are partially globalized, okay. See, so this means that we are able to make a balance between democracy and sovereignty, but poor balance between the globalization, okay. See, because of this reason, we used to compare India with China. We used to say that China is so ahead of us, okay, China is far better than us. It means that, guys, in every kind of system, either you want to maintain the democracy and sovereignty, either you want to maintain the globalization sovereignty, either you want to maintain the sovereignty and globalization, there is cost for something. Like if we talk about the China, if China is an economic superpower, okay, it is emerging at a very fast rate, and economic prosperity, and you know, export hub of the world, okay, and manufacturing factory of the world. So economic prosperity is continuously increasing, but it is coming at the cost of their, you know, less freedom of expression, you can say, you know, and one political party rules, no authority in the hands of the people to make their own government, okay. Many people used to say in India that because of democracy we are not able to flourish, guys. See, democracy is good for people, but if we compare the model with the China, we will say that it's intrinsic. When we found the democracy, we want to maintain our sovereignty, but it means that we are not able to maintain the globalization, okay. We know that if we allow the globalization, it will impact the either sovereignty, okay. For example, now people will say that how it will impact the sovereignty. See guys, India, we are not that much good in economically in our nations, okay. Our internal condition is not that much good, okay, like China, that they are big industries there. See, if we allow the globalization, okay, and it's almost, as you see in the present circumstances, so it's difficult to make a business, to start a startup, okay. And like see recent report, there are almost 9,000 compliances in the per year. Such a, you know, updation is there, which make it very complex for a businessman. See guys, if we talk about the present circumstance, for example, if we allow the very free trade, no restriction, okay, and fully globalized, so cheaper company, it may be from China or anywhere else, okay, they will come to India and compete. The local product have to compete with them, and with the present circumstance, it will not be able to compete with them, okay. And external market will dominate. When the external economic market will dominate your market, okay, you have to follow, and you have to be dependent on that foreign country, okay. And directly or indirectly, you are losing your sovereignty because you are now depending on the external country for some reasons, okay. So this was all about in this article, said that how this is very difficult to maintain the balance between these three, okay, democracy, sovereignty, and globalization. And because of this, as you see, the Donald Trump, okay, of the USA, what he saw that we are losing our sovereignty, okay, external forces are influencing us, okay. So they thought that let's cut down from the globalization and let's maintain the democracy and sovereignty, and let's make your own factory. As you see the high tariff on the things, okay, all this thing is happening. As you see in the European Union, okay, what's the national sentiment is rising, and people are saying that neo-Nazi party is rising in Germany, okay. And many things are happening just because of this circle, okay. Some people want to move away from the globalization. As we see the European Union, okay, migration process, it's the problem of Europe also. See, some people, like we saw that, you know, extreme rightist people are, you know, emerging there. They are thinking that, you know, you can say the migration should not be there like this. So national sentiment is rising, and they want to move away from the globalization toward the protectionism. Means every country is becoming, you know, conscious about their democracy, about their, you can, sovereignty, and all these things. It's all play. You can say that whole geopolitics is in the trilemma, okay, political trilemma. You know, countries sometimes balance the sovereignty, democracy, but not able to this balance globalization, okay. See, it's called Bretton Woods compromise. Let me check it. Bretton Woods compromise. Yes guys, the policy which India follow, okay, that's called Bretton Woods compromise. Means that we had compromised on the globalization. We thought that limited globalization good to maintain our sovereignty and our democracy, okay. So this is all about trilemma, and whole politics, geopolitics move around this concept. So I thought that I should discuss with you. Thank you so much.